Welcome to another deep dive. This time we're exploring the incredible career of Sonny Chiba, a legend of martial arts cinema. I know from the articles and reviews you send over that you want to go deeper than just a basic biography.
Right, absolutely. And Chiba's career is so much more than just dates and titles. It's a journey through the evolution of action cinema itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to uncover some hidden gems along the way and hopefully discover what made him such an influential figure.
From those early days in tokusatsu, those Japanese superhero shows,
Oh, yeah.
to his later appearances in Tarantino films.
Oh, man, I love those.
Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Sadaho Maeda, that was his real name, right?
Yes.
Was an incredibly gifted athlete. I read he almost made it to the Olympics as a gymnast. Can you imagine?
It's amazing to think about the discipline and skill it takes to reach that level, and that athletic background really formed the foundation for his martial arts career.
So when that injury happened, dashing his Olympic dreams, Chiba found a new path training under the legendary karate master Mas Oyama.
Now, there's a name that commands respect. Mas Oyama was known for pushing physical limits, to say the least.
Wait, are we talking about the guy who used to punch bulls? Because I've heard that story.
You heard right. Oyama was famous for those incredible feats of strength. But this wasn't just for showmanship,
Right.
Chiba wasn't learning these flashy moves just for the camera. He was earning black belt in multiple disciplines.
Really?
Karate, judo, kendo, even ninjutsu. Talk about dedication. This rigorous training under such a demanding master really set him apart from so many other action stars of the time.
So when you see him on screen, you're not just seeing an actor pretending to fight.
Right.
You're seeing decades of dedicated training and mastery.
Exactly. He brought a level of authenticity and raw power to his roles that was just unmatched at the time.
That must have been electrifying for audiences.
Absolutely. You could feel the difference between someone mimicking moves and someone who truly embodies the art. And that's part of what made his breakout in The Street Fighter so impactful.
The Street Fighter, now that's the film that really launched him internationally, right? I
Yeah.
remember reading that it was one of the first Japanese martial arts films to gain widespread recognition outside of Japan.
Yeah, it was a game changer. Released in 1974, The Street Fighter was raw, violent, unapologetically gritty, and Shiba wasn't playing some clean-cut hero.
Right.
He was Terry Tsurugi, a ruthless mercenary, nicknamed the Really Bad Bastard. And get this, the film's brutal fight scenes and unflinching violence actually earned it an X rating at the time.
Wow. An X rating back then. Those scenes must have been pretty intense.
Oh, they were. And you have to remember, this was before the age of CGI and meticulously choreographed fight scenes you see today. The Street Fighter captured this raw, almost visceral energy that just shocked audiences.
We're talking bloody knuckles, bone-crunching impacts. A far cry from the more stylized, almost balletic martial arts films that were more common at the time.
Yeah.
Exactly. They definitely pushed the boundaries.
It's fascinating how a film could be so controversial, yet so influential. It makes you think about how audiences react to violence on screen and how those perceptions evolve over time.
Absolutely. And the Street Fighter's success spawned a whole franchise. Sequels like Return of the Street Fighter and The Street Fighter's Last Revenge, even a spin-off trilogy, Sister Street Fighter, starring the incredible Etsuko Shihomi.
Oh, Shihomi, another icon of martial arts cinema. Did they collaborate on any other projects?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They had fantastic on-screen chemistry. Their fight scenes together were legendary.
Cool.
And this highlights something really important about Chiba's career. He wasn't just this lone wolf, you know?
Yeah.
He actively collaborated with and championed other talented martial artists.
I like that. It speaks to his generosity and his dedication to elevating the genre as a whole.
Yeah.
So before we dive into more of his filmography, I'm curious about his early work in tokusatsu. I know you mentioned it earlier. And honestly, that's a genre I'm not very familiar with. So for someone like me, what should we know about it?
Tokusatsu is pure, unadulterated Japanese pop culture, live-action superhero shows with elaborate costumes, over-the-top special effects, often very campy storylines.
Okay.
It's the birthplace of iconic characters like Godzilla, the Power Rangers, and it's where Chiba cut his teeth in the early days of his career.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1961 black and white film, and Chiba is battling aliens in Invasion of the Neptune Men. That was one of his first roles, right?
It was a perfect example of early tokusatsu. The film is full of charmingly low-budget special effects, classic 50s-style alien costumes. It even caught the attention of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, wow. That's a badge of honor in the world of cult cinema.
Definitely. If you enjoy those so bad it's good movies, Invasion of the Neptune Men is a must-see. It's a glimpse into a bygone era of filmmaking, and it showcases Chiba's early charisma and dedication to his craft, even in a somewhat outlandish setting.
It's amazing to think that he started his journey battling cheesy aliens and went on to become a global icon of action cinema. That's quite the career trajectory.
And we're just getting started. His career is full of these unexpected twists and turns, genre-bending experiments, and hidden gems.
Well, you've definitely piqued my curiosity. I can't wait to see what other surprises await us as we delve deeper into his filmography.
Let's dive in.
All right, I'm ready for more Chiba deep cuts. You mentioned earlier that he wasn't afraid to experiment with different genres. So what other cult classics should we explore?
There are so many. But one that really stands out is Wolf Guy. Enraged Lycanthrope from 1975. This one is, let's just say it's a unique take on the werewolf myth.
Unique how? Does he sprout fangs and fur under the full moon? I gotta know.
Well, sort of. In this version, Chiba's character gains superhuman strength and heightened senses. But he doesn't fully transform into a wolf. It's this bizarre blend of martial arts, horror, and some truly out-there storytelling.
That sounds like a must-see for anyone who loves offbeat cinema. Did he ever play more traditional roles, like, a straight-up samurai warrior?
He did, and those films are just as captivating. Take Champion of Death from 1975. In this one, Chiba actually plays his own real-life sensei, Masoyama, in a biopic trilogy.
Wow.
Based on the manga Karate Baka Ichidai. Imagine stepping into the shoes of the man who punched bulls.
That's incredible. He must have felt a lot of pressure to portray his mentor accurately.
He absolutely did, but he nailed it. The film captures Oyama's intensity, his discipline, and his philosophy. And of course, it features some truly impressive fight choreography, showcasing Oyama's unique karate style.
Okay, so we've got a werewolf with super strength and a biopic about a legendary karate master. What else can we add to our Chiba watch list?
Well, if you're in the mood for a classic 70s grindhouse flick, you can't go wrong with Golgo 13. Assignment Kowloon from 1977. Think of it as a Japanese James Bond, but with even deadlier martial arts skills.
Ooh, I like that.
Chiba plays Duke Togo, a ruthless and enigmatic assassin who takes on these seemingly impossible missions.
That sounds right up my alley. Cold-blooded assassin with killer karate moves. Sign me up. Did Chiba ever venture back into the world of tokusatsu after Invasion of the Neptune Men?
He did. In 1978, he starred in Message from Space. It was a big-budget science fiction epic heavily inspired by, you guessed it, the success of Star Wars.
Ah, the Star Wars effect.
Yeah.
Everyone was trying to capture that space opera magic in the late 70s.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to see how Chiba navigated these different genres.
Yeah.
From campy superhero shows to gritty action films to sci-fi adventures. He never seemed to shy away from a challenge.
Exactly. And that's part of what makes his filmography so rewarding to explore. There's always something new to discover, a different facet of his talent to appreciate.
We've talked a lot about his action roles, but I'm curious about his range as an actor. Did he ever take on more dramatic roles where his martial arts skills weren't the main focus?
He did, and one film that really showcases his versatility is Hunter in the Dark from 1979. It's a Jidaigeki film, which is a genre of period dramas set in feudal Japan.
So we're talking samurai, swords, epic battles.
Precisely. But Hunter in the Dark is more than just a samurai action flick. It's a beautifully crafted film with compelling story, stunning cinematography, and nuanced performances. And Chiba holds his own alongside some of the biggest names in Japanese cinema.
Like who? Give me some names.
Well, the film stars Tatsuya Nakadai, a legend of Japanese cinema, known for his powerful performances in samurai films like Yojimbo and Harakiri, and it was directed by Hideo Gosha, a master of the Jidaigeki genre.
Wow, that's an impressive lineup. So this is a film where Chiba's acting skills really shine.
Absolutely. His performance is subtle, restrained, and incredibly powerful. It's a must-see for anyone who wants to see a different side of his talent.
Okay, you've officially convinced me Hunter of the Dark is going straight to the top of my watch list. But we can't forget about Chiba's later career. He even popped up in some Hollywood films, right?
He did. He had a memorable role in The Storm Riders from 1998. It was a Hong Kong fantasy epic that was groundbreaking for its visual effects and fight choreography.
Wasn't he the villain in that one?
He was. He played the formidable Lord Conqueror, and he absolutely stole the show. His presence and intensity were just captivating, even amidst all the special effects and wire-fu action.
It's interesting to think about the impact of a performance like that. Did his role of the Storm Riders introduce him to a whole new generation of fans?
It certainly did. The Storm Riders was a huge hit internationally, and it helped solidify Chiba's status as a legend of action cinema. But even more significant was his appearance in Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill films.
Ah, yes. The Tarantino connection. Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Tarantino was a lifelong fan of Chiba's work, particularly The Street Fighter. He even snuck references to Chiba's films into his own movies, like Jules Ezekiel 25.17's speech in Pulp Fiction, which is a direct nod to the U.S. release of Karate Kiba.
Wait, seriously, I never caught that connection. That's amazing.
It is. And in Kill Bill, Tarantino cast Chiba in a role that was practically tailor-made for him, Hattori Hanzo, the legendary swordsmith. It was this brilliant homage to Chiba's legacy, and a testament to his enduring influence on filmmakers like Tarantino.
That's such a cool tribute. It must have been a surreal experience for Chiba, to work with a director who was so clearly inspired by his work.
It was this perfect meeting of minds. Tarantino's passion for Chiba's films is evident in every frame of Kill Bill, and Chiba brought his signature intensity and charisma to the role of Hattori Hanzo. It's a cinematic match made in heaven.
And it wasn't his only Hollywood cameo, right? Didn't he also appear in one of the Fast and the Furious films?
He did. He played a Yakuza boss in The Fast and the Furious. Tokyo Drift. It was a smaller role, but it was still fun to see him in a big-budget Hollywood production alongside a new generation of action stars.
It's like seeing the culmination of his career, coming full circle from his early days in Japanese cinema to appearing in a global blockbuster franchise.
It's a testament to his enduring appeal and the global reach of his influence. But it's important to remember that these Hollywood roles, while often mentioned, were just a small part of his incredibly vast filmography. He made over 120 films in Japan, spanning multiple genres and showcasing his incredible range as an actor.
Wow, over 120 films. That's an incredible legacy. And it sounds like we've only scratched the surface in this deep dive. I have a feeling I'll be busy watching Chiba films for months to come.
You and me both. There's always something new to discover in his work.
So as we start to wrap things up, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Chiba's lasting impact on action cinema. How would you summarize his legacy?
That's a great question. I think Chiba's legacy is multifaceted. He was a pioneer, a true innovator who pushed the boundaries of action cinema with his raw intensity and his willingness to experiment with different genres. He was a master of his craft, dedicating himself to his martial arts training and bringing an unmatched level of authenticity to his roles.
It's that authenticity that really stands out to me. You can tell he's not just going through the motions. He's embodying the spirit of the martial arts in every move he makes.
Exactly. And beyond his skills as a martial artist, he was a charismatic and compelling actor who could command the screen in any role, whether he was playing a ruthless villain or a stoic hero.
And he did it all with a sense of style and swagger that was all his own. He was a true icon, and his influence can be seen in action films today. From the gritty realism of films like The Raid to the stylized choreography of superhero blockbusters.
Absolutely. And beyond his on-screen presence, he was a generous collaborator who championed other martial artists and helped elevate the genre as a whole. His legacy is about more than just his individual films. It's about the impact he had on the world of action cinema and the countless filmmakers and actors he inspired.
It's an inspiring legacy for sure. It makes me wonder what Chiba himself would think about his enduring popularity and the impact he's had on cinema.
That's an interesting thought. I imagine he'd be humbled by the recognition, but also driven to keep pushing boundaries and exploring new creative avenues.
I have a feeling he'd never rest on his laurels. He'd be out there training, making movies, and inspiring others to embrace the challenges and the rewards of pursuing their passions. It's incredible to think about the sheer volume of work he created and the impact he had on so many people. As we wrap up this deep dive, what stood out to you the most about Sonny Chiba's career?
Honestly, it's that relentless dedication to his craft. He wasn't just an actor, he was a true martial artist, He brought his physical and mental discipline to every role. Even in his later years, he continued to train and push himself, always striving for excellence.
It's inspiring, really.
Yeah.
He was a master of his craft, and he never took that for granted. He could have easily rested on his laurels, especially after achieving international fame but he never did.
Right, he was constantly evolving, experimenting with different genres, and seeking out new challenges. It's that kind of unwavering passion that makes a true icon.
And it makes his filmography so much richer and more rewarding to explore. You've given us a fantastic overview of his career. From the campy delights of tokusatsu, to the gritty realism of the Street Fighter, to the quiet intensity of Hunter in the Dark. It's amazing.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There are so many more films to discover, each one offering a unique glimpse into his talent and his dedication to the art of storytelling through action.
So for you listening, we've given you a taste of Sonny Chiba's incredible journey. Now is your turn to explore what piqued your interest. Which aspect of his career are you most eager to delve into?
Is it the over-the-top action of the Street Fighter that calls to you?
Or perhaps the bizarre world of Wolf Guy, with its unique take on the werewolf myth?
Or maybe you're drawn to the artistry and historical depth of samurai films like Champion of Death and Hunter in the Dark.
The choice is yours. And that's the beauty of a deep dive like this. It's not just about learning facts and figures. It's about igniting curiosity, opening up new avenues for exploration, and discovering cinematic treasures you might never have known existed.
So go forth, intrepid listener, and let the legacy of Sonny Chiba inspire your next cinematic adventure. Who knows what hidden gems you might uncover?
Happy viewing!